Side at the DeWitt Gym as the Dordt defenders look to conclude the home portion of the 2022 women's basketball schedule, taking on the Dakota Wesleyan Tigers. It'll be a challenging task today for the Defender women as they take a 7-2 mark into today's contest, while the Dordt defenders are 11-0 overall. The Dordt defenders standing 6-0 in the conference after their 10-point win over Northwestern in a clash of unbeatens on Wednesday night, while the Dakota Wesleyan Tigers have built a 7-2 overall mark, a 4-2 league record, and they are looming large. And they are a team that has been to the NAI National Championship. They've been in the field. They've won a tournament. And they are a challenging task here this afternoon, I should say, for the Dordt defenders. In the men's contest to follow, it'll be Dordt at 10-2, taking on a deceptive 5-5 Dakota Wesleyan team that is playing very well right now. So we anticipate both ends of the doubleheader to be very good here this afternoon. This is the Wireless World pre-game show. Let's take a closer look at the standings then before we get into the matchup between these two teams and the other games actually going on in the conference today. First of all, the standings. Dordt is currently 6-0. Northwestern is 5-1. Jamestown is 5-1. Dakota Wesleyan and Briar Cliff, along with Hastings, are all 4-2. And then you see the separation, and it's a surprising separation with some very unlikely characters in the final four of the standings, with at least 4 losses each. Concordia and Morningside, those are the two that get my attention at 3-4 and 2-4 respectively in women's GPAC basketball. Doane has been very good so far this year as well. They were a very young team last year. They've made some strides. They're standing at 3-4, but you've got the separation with a group of 3 teams at 4-2, and then a group of 3 teams with 4 losses, and then the College of St. Mary sits at 1-6 along with Mount Marty. Midland is also 0-6 in GPAC basketball standings. Other GPAC games happening today include Concordia at Hastings, Jamestown is at Mount Marty, Midland is at Briar Cliff, and Morningside is at Northwestern. Now, a schedule that I looked at earlier today had that Northwestern versus Morningside game happening tonight. I've double-checked with the folks back at the Sioux County Radio Studios, and they are saying no. That is a 2 o'clock start time. So can't believe everything you read all the time, and being in charge of some of those schedules online as well myself, I know that it is very easy to plug in a 6 o'clock instead of a 2 o'clock, but that is a 2 o'clock start time this afternoon, Morningside and Northwestern. Let's take a 2-minute break, and when we're back, we'll take a closer look at the matchup between these two teams, Dakota Wesleyan and Dordt, right after this 2-minute timeout.
Today's Dordt Media Network live stream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University.
And brought to you by Pizza Ranch, buffet, carry out, or delivery.
And brought to you by Furniture Mart. Find furniture, mattresses, flooring, paint, window treatments at your local Furniture Mart, family owned and located downtown Sioux Center.
We begin with the Dordt defenders. 11-0 overall, 6-0 in the conference. Wins over Presentation, Dakota State, Bellevue, Trinity Christian, and Dickinson State, all outside the conference to start the year 5-0. Then beat Morningside by 16 in Sioux City. Beat Concordia by 11, 76-65. Dropped Briar Cliff in Sioux City, 81-75. Handled the College of St. Mary. Beat Midland last week and dropped Northwestern on Wednesday, 65-55. The Dordt women, by the numbers, look like this. They're outscoring teams 82-60. They're shooting 50% from the floor. They're allowing 39% success. They're making 40% of their three-point tries. They're allowing opponents to make 24%. They out-rebound teams 40-30. They have turned it over 15 times. That number gradually working its way down, and they are forcing 18 turnovers per game. They are led by Carly Gustafson's 19.3 points per game to go along with 7.2 rebounds. She's making nearly 70% of her field goal tries. She also dishes out 3.3 assists per game. Bailey Beckman is averaging 17.2 points per game with 1.3 steals. She has made a team best 24 three-pointers so far this year. Janie Schoenhoven's in double digits at 11.6 points per game with 7.8 rebounds. She is making 61% of her field goal tries. Hayden Hymanson is at 6.3 points per game with 2.1 assists. Macy Sievers comes off of the bench for 8.7 points per game and 4.7 rebounds. Macy Nielsen and McKenna Klecker and Faith Van Holland are all averaging between 4 and 5 points per game. Klecker has 15 made three-pointers. Nielsen has 14. Klecker is making 43% of her three-point shots. For Dakota Wesleyan, they are 7-2 this season, 4-2 in the conference. They have been rated in the top 10 in the NAI. Most recently, they are number 11. They beat Valley City State to open the year and then dropped Presentation. Handled Morningside 75-71, lost to Jamestown 71-64. Beat the College of St. Mary, beat Mount Marty, dropped Doane 75-69 in overtime, lost to Hastings 74-70, beat Bellevue 77-57 on Wednesday night. They are averaging 75 points per game. They're allowing 56 points per outing. They're shooting 45% from the floor. They're allowing opponents to make 35%. Their three-point shooting percentage is 33. Their three-point field goal percentage allowed is 30%. They're out-rebounding teams 43-32. They commit 14 turnovers per game. They allow and they force 18 turnovers per contest. Players to watch for the Dakota Wesleyan Tigers: Jada Campbell, 16.1 points per game. Maddie Reiner, 14.0 points per outing. And Isabel Einen, 11.1 points per game with 6.3 rebounds per contest. Heinen is 23 made three-point field goals this season for the Tigers. Jada Campbell also takes in 6 rebounds, while Reiner is at 5 rebounds per game. The Tigers are coached by Jason Christensen. He is in his 13th season with the Tigers. He has a career 253 and 139 record. Jada Campbell was a second-team All-GPAC honoree last year. She's in her 5th season. She played 2 years at Presentation. She was granted an additional COVID year as well, as all those players that were in school at the time of COVID were given an extra year. And Campbell has made over 1,500 career points. Maddie Reiner has over 1,000 points as well. She's in her 4th year with Dakota Wesleyan. She averaged 13.7 points per game last year. She was an honorable mention All-American selection. Notes for the Dordt defenders: Bill Harmson is 99 and 41 as the head coach, going after win number 100 here this afternoon. Bailey Beckman has 1,110 career points. Carly Gustafson has 1,175 career tallies. Most recently, Dordt beat Northwestern 65-55 on Wednesday night behind 23 points from Carly Gustafson. She also snared 10 rebounds. Jeannie Schoenhoven had 10 and 8. Bailey Beckman scored 11. Dakota Wesleyan had no trouble with Bellevue Wednesday night. They held a 42-25 halftime lead. Jada Campbell scored 28. Maddie Reiner scored 13. Lacey Sprakel came off of the bench to score 12. The series between these two since 2017, dead even, 6-6. Tigers were 80-75 winners over Dordt on December 11 last year. Einen had 18 points. Jada Campbell had 15. Carly Gustafson scored 19 in the loss. Hayden Hymanson added 17. On January 26th, the teams met at the Corn Palace. Dordt overcame a fourth quarter deficit of 4 points to win it, 67-65. Ashton Verbeek had 26. Bailey Beckman added 14. Campbell had 16. Teams met a third time in the GPAC semifinals, February 26th. Wesleyan controlled most of that game, won it 69-59. They had a great defensive performance, if memory serves me correctly, in that one. Campbell had 20 points and 13 for Reiner. Gustafson had 30, and Verbeek added 11. Let's take a look at starting lineups, and then we'll get to another break. But right now, let's take a look at the probable starting lineups for today's basketball game. First of all, for the visitors from Dakota Wesleyan, they will start number 4, Aspen Hansen, a 5'10 junior from Del Rapids, South Dakota. She averages 6.4 points per game. Maya Wilson is a 5'3 junior from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, averaging 2.3 points per contest. Isabel Enan is a 5'7 junior from Lenox, South Dakota, averaging 11.1 points per game. Number 34 is Maddie Reiner. Reiner is a 5'10 senior from Tripp, South Dakota, averaging 14 points per game. And Jada Campbell is a 6'4 senior from Alexandria, South Dakota. She is averaging 16.1 points per contest. Again, for Wesleyan, Hansen, Wilson, Enan, Reiner, and Campbell. For the Dordt defenders, they will counter with this lineup. Same lineup we've seen all season. Hayden Hymanson is a 5'8 sophomore from Rock Rapids, Iowa, averaging 6.3 points per game. She wears number 5. Number 13 is Bailey Backman. She's a 5'5 senior from Panora, Iowa, averaging 17.2 points per game. She wears number 13. Number 30 is Carly Gustafson, a 5'11 senior from Ethan, South Dakota, averaging 19.3 points per game. Faith Van Holland is number 32. She's a 5'8 junior from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, averaging 4.5 points per game. And Janie Schoenhoven wears number 35. She's a 5'10 sophomore from Hospers, Iowa. She is averaging 11.6 points per game. Key reserves for the defenders, Macy Nielsen, 5'6 junior from Sioux Falls, 4.3 points per game. Macy Sievers, a 5'8 freshman from Storm Lake, averaging 8.7 points per outing. Eliana Caparis is a 5'10 sophomore from Manhattan, Montana, averaging 2.7 points per game. McKenna Clucker is a 5'7 senior from Chandler, Arizona. She is averaging 4.4 points per contest. For Dakota Wesleyan, their top reserves, Ren Ostis, a 5'9 senior from DeSmet, South Dakota. She averages 4.4 points per game. Morgan Edelman is a 5'6 sophomore from Menno, South Dakota, averaging 6.7 points per outing. Number 32 is Riley Rosenquist, a 5'7 freshman from the Dakota Dunes. South Dakota averages 2.4 points per game. And Lacey Sprakel wears number 52. She's a 5'10 senior from Crofton, Nebraska, averaging 8 points per game. You're listening to the Dordt basketball on KIHK. Let's take a 2-minute break. Be back with more right after this.
We understand how complex the financial landscape can be to navigate. Our goal is to free up your hands so that you can focus on what is most important in life.
As a bank that cares about supporting small businesses, American State Bank assisted hundreds of young entrepreneurs launch their first business. Starting a business can be complicated, even when it's just a lemonade stand. It's never too early to begin thinking towards your next project, and we'll be here to help make it go as smoothly as possible. Supporting entrepreneurs, no matter their age, it's what we do.
Today's Dordt Media Network live stream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University.
And brought to you by Pizza Ranch, buffet, carry out, or delivery.
And brought to you by Furniture Mart. Find furniture, mattresses, flooring, paint, window treatments at your local Furniture Mart, family owned and located downtown Sioux Center.
Position, 5'10 senior, number 34, Maddie Reiner. And
We're having the introductions of the starting lineups. Dakota Wesleyan's 5 are on the floor, and the Dordt defenders are introducing their starters. Again, for the defenders, it'll be Hymanson, Beckman, Gustafson, Van Holland, and Schoenhoven for Coach Bill Harmson, while Dakota Wesleyan is countering with Hansen, Wilson, Enan Reiner, and Campbell. Other games that we'll be watching throughout the afternoon, keeping an eye on the top matchups, and there could be a few today. Concordia and Hastings, I'm going to watch that with interest. Hastings seemed to have taken a step forward this year. Had a couple of big wins last weekend on the road. I'm curious how they fare with Concordia. That game's being played in Hastings. And also on the women's side, Morningside and Northwestern. The Northwestern Red Raiders, see how they do coming off a loss on Wednesday night, their first of the year. And for the Morningside Mustangs, I think everyone just kind of waiting for them to get going simply because they always do. They are an uncustomary 2-4 in the conference and 4-5 overall in women's basketball play. So those are the games along with the other ones, and you never know. Sometimes we think, Jamestown and Mount Marty, that's going to be no problem for the Jimmies and the Lancers playing at home. We'll see how they do. In Midland at Briarcliff, that's a matchup of teams at opposite ends of the standings right now, and Briarcliff hosting that one. We'll see if Midland can be dangerous and see how they fare in Sioux City. Right now in front of us, we've got Dordt versus Dakota Wesleyan. Tigers control the opening tap with the black jerseys on. Pass goes right side over to Hansen. Hansen dumps it down low, and we've got a foul on the interior pass right away. That's going to go against Carly Gustafson, and that's number 1 against Gustafson. And Dordt can ill afford to have her get in foul trouble, so she's got 15 seconds into the contest. Dakota Wesleyan with the basketball. Wilson into the lane. Wilson gives it off to Hansen. Hansen in the lane. Her shot rims out no good. And the rebound is taken away by the defenders. Right side pass, Beckman. Beckman looks down low for Gustafson. Squares up against Reiner. Passes it out on the perimeter to Van Holland. Van Holland puts it on the floor, and it's tapped away from behind by Wilson. Wilson tips it away. Wilson gets the return pass now. She's looking down low for Reiner. Reiner against Gustafson. They throw it inside for Campbell. Campbell fires up an awkward-looking shot, and the Dordt defenders come away with the basketball. She was defended that time by Schoenhoven. Hymanson with the basketball on the right-hand side. 0-0 our score, though, so far. We're a minute into the contest. With it up front is Beckman. Beckman hesitates, drives all the way in. 2 players around her, and we've got a blocking foul called on the Tigers. So the Tigers, a blocking foul called. That foul goes on Enan. Enan whistled for foul number 1. To the free throw line to shoot a pair will be Bailey Beckman. Beckman will shoot 2. She's a 78% free throw shooter. First one swishes through, and the defenders are on the board, 1-0. A second free throw on the way for the defenders. Beckman lets that one go. Beckman's shot through, and the Dordt lead is 2-0. 2-0 our score with the basketball on the right-hand side. Reiner looking down low, instead goes out front to Wilson. Wilson with the basketball. Wilson thinks about a 3. She'll put it up and misses wide, misses everything. And Maya Wilson, the 5'3 junior from Sioux Falls, misses on the 3-point shot. Shot clock is reset. And they'll reset it to 8:42. Shot clock reset to 8:42. We're set for basketball to continue now. Dordt leading 2-0. With the basketball on the side, Hymanson gets it away to Gustafson. Gustafson with it out front. Gustafson gives it back over to Beckman. Beckman right side, Van Holland. Van Holland with the basketball, double teamed. Goes to Gustafson. Gustafson down on the baseline, puts it up off the glass. It trickles off, no good. Rebound Van Holland. Over to Hymanson. Hymanson, Beckman. Beckman step back triple, good. Bailey Beckman with the 3-point bucket, and the Dordt defenders lead it 5-0. 5-0. Hansen with the basketball. Hansen looking inside for Campbell. They pass it over to Wilson. Wilson with the basketball, gets a ball screen out front. comes back over to Reiner. Reiner puts it on the deck against Gustafson, lays it up with the right hand, good. Reiner with the 2-point basket attacking the hoop. And for the defenders, Gustafson can't afford to pick up her second personal foul right now. Hymanson picks up her dribble, comes back over to Gustafson. Gustafson to Beckman. Man-to-man defense applied here by the Tigers. Pull-up jumper by Beckman is up and good. Bailey Beckman knocks down the pull-up jumper. 7-2. Nice start for Bailey on the offensive end. With the basketball, goes left side, Wilson. Wilson with it out front. Wilson passes right-hand side, Hanson. Hanson against Hymanson. And her shot skips off of the rim. Looked like it was halfway down and bubbles out. Left side pass, Beckman. Beckman inside Gustafson, double teamed. Hymanson an open look at a three, good. Aiden Hymanson with a 3-point bucket. Dordt leads 10-2. 10-2 our score. For the basketball, right-hand side, Wilson. They throw it in for Campbell. Campbell against Schoenhoven. They double down, kick out pass. Three no good. Rebound controlled by Hymanson. Hymanson over the basketball up the floor. Dordt in their white jerseys. They have a 10-2 lead at this point. Schoenhoven throws right side Van Holland. Van Holland to Hymanson. Hymanson, Gustafson. Gustafson posting up. Gustafson over the basketball. Back over to Hymanson. Ball fake. And she is fouled on the play by Maya Wilson. Wilson bit on the ball fake. She goes up into the air and commits a foul. It's Dordt basketball on the sideline. New players checking in for the Tigers and the defenders. Nielsen, Klecker, and Sievers all checking in. Checking out Hymanson, Van Holland, and Gustafson. For the Tigers, Hanson, Campbell, and Wilson all check out. Ball thrown in to Sievers. Sievers with the basketball. Macy has it on the right-hand side. Sievers with it at the top of the key. Right side pass goes over to Nielsen. Nielsen with the basketball. Macy with it, stops, throws inside for Schoenhoven, off the glass, good. Jeannie Schoenhoven with a 2-point bucket. Dordt leads 12-2. Up the floor with it is Ren Ostis. Ostis looking, passes it out front to Sprakel. Sprakel against Schoenhoven. Sprakel looking for the give. Instead comes back out to Reiner. Reiner with the basketball, attacking, lays it up, and she gets it to go. And Maddie Reiner will go to the free throw line to try and complete the old-fashioned 3-point play. Reiner is the one that you really get concerned about simply because she's a matchup issue. She's listed 5'10". She's all of that. She can put it on the floor. She can shoot a little bit from the outside, and she can attack the rim. So Reiner with a 3-point play opportunity is up and down. She's got all 5 of the points for Dakota Wesleyan thus far. It's 12-5 with the basketball. Right side Sievers gives it to Beckman. Beckman with the basketball. Bailey puts it on the deck, elbow. Comes back over to Nielsen. Nielsen with it out front. Had Schoenhoven open for a moment. Now they give it underneath to Schoenhoven. She fires it out to the perimeter. Beckman. Beckman with the basketball. 10 seconds to shoot. And she dribbles it off of her foot out of bounds. It'll be Dakota Wesleyan basketball. Enan inbounding the basketball. 12-5 our score. 5.5 left to go. First period. Wesleyan basketball trailing 12-5. Open look at a three, and that one is up and off of the rim and down. A 3-point basket for Isabel Enan. Here comes Dordt. Sievers to Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven fading away from 12, no good. And a late foul call. They call a charge on Schoenhoven. Must have taken just a little while to register, because Schoenhoven stepped back, shot that, and it was up on the rim, and then the foul call came. 12-8, Dordt trailing. Dordt leading, I should say. Not saying it wasn't a charge, just the timing of it a little strange. Dakota Wesleyan basketball. They pass it over to Enan. Enan with it, right-hand side, Ostis. Ostis gives it up to Edelman. Edelman with it on the right wing. Edelman back out front to Enan. 12 to shoot, now 10. She puts it up with the right hand, missed it, no good. Rebound tapped out, and last touch by the defenders. It'll be Dakota Wesleyan basketball. So Dakota Wesleyan will get it back right side of the lane as we face the hoop. Checking back into the game will be Maddie Reiner. Also, Hanson checks back in for Dakota Wesleyan. So Wesleyan down by 4. It's 12-8. Wesleyan right now on a 5-0 run. They get it into Campbell. Campbell with the basketball. Campbell goes left side. Ostis on the wing. Now Hansen. Ball's down on the floor, and it's taken away by Nielsen. Nielsen outlets to Sievers. Sievers with the basketball. Sievers all the way to the other end. Flips it up off the glass. Good. Macy Sievers with a 2-point bucket. Dordt leads 14-8. Wesleyan basketball. They're looking down low for Reiner. Instead, Campbell now at the point. Campbell comes back over to Reiner. Reiner with the basketball, guarded there by Klecker. 4:10 remaining here in the first quarter. Reiner with the basketball, gives it off to Hansen. Hansen back out front to Edelman. Edelman with the basketball. Edelman puts it up. Her shot good. Count the hoop, and she is fouled. Morgan Edelman with the 2-point bucket, making it 14-10 pending the free throw. Foul called on Macy Sievers. That's number 1 on her. So Edelman will go to the free throw line, and she will shoot a free throw. Free throw is up for Edelman. Good. She's a 77% free throw shooter, makes that one. And it's 14-11. Dordt with a 3-point lead. Sievers with the basketball, goes left side to Klecker. Klecker guarded there by Reiner. Step back, Klecker, top of the key, off the front iron, no good. And the rebound is cleared by Dakota Wesleyan. Wesleyan off and running. Edelman with it on the right wing. Edelman goes to Campbell. Campbell dumps it left side, and reach-in foul called on Faith Van Holland. Van Holland called for foul number 1. Team foul number 4. Beg your pardon, team foul number 5 against the defenders now. So Dordt with 5 players with 1 foul each. And a free throw on the way for Enon. She'll shoot 2 actually. Trying to draw Dakota Wesleyan back to within 1. First one is up and good. Enon with 4 points. And another free throw coming for Enon. Waiting at the scores table is Sprakel. Enon's free throw up and through. So Enon makes it 4 of 4 for Dakota Wesleyan from the free throw line thus far. 3:35 and counting. First quarter, Dordt leading 14-13. Well, so far this one's shaping up to be as good as expected. Dort's offense having a little trouble right now. Down to the baseline is Beckman. Beckman cut off. Schoenhoven squares up, 17-footer, good. Janie Schoenhoven with 4. Dordt leads 16-13. 3:14 and counting. Wesleyan basketball on the left-hand side. Driving, right hand, spin into the lane. Edelman off of the glass, good off-balance shot. Edelman averaging 6.7 points per game off of the bench. She gets that one to go as she slaps it off of the window. Comes back out front, Gustafson on the right wing now. Gustafson back to Schoenhoven, hands it right back over to Hymanson. Hymanson with the basketball. Hymanson, high post, Gustafson. Gustafson against Reiner. Gustafson looking. Back to Sievers. Sievers ball fake down to the baseline. Cut off. 2 players around her, and it is thrown away by Sievers. Sievers trying to go to the opposite wing with a kick-out pass. And Dakota Wesleyan will get the ball back on the turnover. So a turnover gives the basketball back to Dakota Wesleyan. Wesleyan trailing 16-15. And they're looking for their first lead of the basketball game. Field goal does it. 2:25 left to play in the first quarter. Pass it inside Reiner. Reiner squaring up from 12. Rattles it, no good. And the rebound is taken away by Schoenhoven. She passes it up to Hymanson, the sophomore from Rock Rapids. Schoenhoven looked right, looked left, now comes back to the right side of the pass, gets the pass underneath, fires it out front, Backman. Backman sets her 3, good. Bailey Backman knew that one was in when it left her hand. She was backpedaling. She's got 10. And the defender lead is 19-15. 1:55 left to play. First quarter of action. Edelman with it out front, guarded there by Beckman. Beckman goes under the screen. Must not be concerned about Edelman shooting the 3. Instead, they go left side back over to Enon. Enon 3, reins it in. Enon with another 3. She's got 8. And the Dordt lead is 19-18. 19-18, Sievers, right side Hymanson. Hymanson with the basketball. 90 seconds left here in the first quarter. Beckman with the basketball on the right-hand side. Step back three, good. Bailey Beckman with her third three, and the defender lead is 22-18. Well, both offenses clicking so far. Pass deflected, it's down on the floor and tapped out of bounds. Last touch by Dordt. It'll be Dakota Wesleyan basketball. Ball ends up glancing off of Hymanson's hands before it goes out of bounds. There you see one of Bailey Beckman's 3 threes so far this afternoon. Now if you're Dordt, you want to stop. Got to get a stop here. Got to string a couple together. Throwing the ball in, ran Ostis. Ostis throws it in Sprakel. Sprakel with the basketball. Sprakel gives it back over to Enan. Enan with it out front. Enan driving in, left side, puts it up with the left hand. Too strong, no good. There's your stop. Dordt finishes it with the rebound. They get it over to Beckman. Beckman with the basketball up the floor, under a minute to go, first quarter. Beckman down to the baseline, cut off. Gustafson with it out front, circles around, comes back against Campbell, puts up the hook shot and rolls it in off the front iron. Harley Gustafson with her first two. Dordt leads 24-18. 24-18 our score with the basketball. They dump it down low. Campbell in the lane, her shot no good. Rebound cleared by Gustafson. Gustafson with the basketball. Dordt can hold until less than 5 seconds to go in the period if they want. Hymanson at midcourt, takes it across the stripe. Enan meets her. Dordt with the basketball. Hymanson, 15 now to shoot. 3-second difference, shot clock and game clock. They come back to Gustafson. Gustafson against Sprakel. Gustafson, high off the glass, no good. Rebound tip, taken by Schoenhoven. 8 to play. Comes back out front, Beckman. Beckman shot no good. Rebound Campbell. Campbell, outlet pass, 2 seconds. 1, desperation shot at the horn is good. The three-point basket at the horn, they rule is good. The runner by Riley Rosenquist, and the Dordt defenders lead it 24-21 as we head to the second quarter. 1 quarter in the books, 24-21 defenders, back with more in 1 minute.
Today's broadcast is sponsored by Northside Body Shop. When you expect the very best in the repair of your vehicle, call Northside Body Shop Limited today. Serving the Sioux Center area since 1955. 712-722-2313.
By Riley Rosenquist. Draws Dakota Wesleyan to within 3, 24-21 at the first quarter buzzer. And I thought it was good I thought it was before the horn when it happened, and I watched the replay online. I'm not seeing anything that, well, discredits or credits it, simply because can't see the scoreboard. I should say I can't see the backboard, and when those lights went off, but as soon as he went to the backboard, the lights were on, so she got it in just before the horn. Pull-up jumper, no good by Bailey Beckman, and the Dordt defenders with a 3-point lead. Playing defense now. Throw over the top, Campbell. Campbell, 2-point bucket, good, and now Dakota Wesleyan back to within a point, 24-23. They've been within 1 on another occasion. Dordt was able to answer with some offense. Pass down low, Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven puts it up and a foul on the play. Not sure who it's going to go against. Either way, it's going to go on Campbell. Jada Campbell whistled for the personal. She and Maddie Reiner were both there, and Schoenhoven that time, she gets it down low. She goes right up with it. She's unhindered, but she gathered herself. I think she was surprised, did not realize how open she was, and she gets the first free throw to go. She's got another one on the way. 25-23 defenders. Second free throw by the sophomore from Hospers, up and down. And she's now 14 of 24 from the free throw line, back above 50%. With it on the right-hand side, Ostis. Ostis cut off. Reiner on the right wing. Cross-court pass, dangerous pass. Beckman unable to see it quickly enough, though. And now dribbled out of bounds by Ostis. It'll be Dordt basketball. Ostis has done a little bit of everything in terms of her roles at Dakota Wesleyan. She's started. She's come off of the bench. Here as a senior. She's reserved now, scoring 4.4 points per game. With the basketball, right-hand side. The defenders goes to Hymanson. Gustafson tries to thread the needle for Schoenhoven, and the ball goes out of bounds. Last touched by Dordt. It will be Dakota Wesleyan basketball with the full court in front of the Tigers. 26-23, 8:45 remaining. First half of basketball. Ostis with it on the wing. Ostis comes back to Reiner. Reiner three, too strong, no good. Campbell with the rebound, just reached over the top of Schoenhoven. She's got about 5 or 6 inches on Schoenhoven, and she was able to reach over the top, tip that ball to herself. Comes back out front to Campbell, and a travel violation on the jump stop called against Morgan Edelman. She came to the jump stop and then got whistled for the travel. Dordt gets the basketball back. You are listening to KIHK Rock Valley Sioux Center and watching on the Dordt Media Network. Glad to have you along with me on this Saturday afternoon. Pass goes left side Hymanson. Van Hollen down to the baseline. Back outside, Gustafson squares up, 15-footer left wing, good. Carly Gustafson with a 2-point bucket. She's got 4, and the defender lead is 5, 28-23. Ostis for the basketball. Comes back out front. They pass it over to Edelman. Edelman with it. Edelman on the left wing. Edelman back to Reiner. Reiner, Campbell. Campbell, they're playing behind Campbell right now, and she just caught that one, turned and shot a little 10-footer in the lane, and that one was nothing but net. 28-25 our score. Hymanson, left side Van Hollen. Schoenhoven in between the old three-point circle and the new one. Pass comes back to Van Hollen. Van Hollen to Beckman. Beckman down to the baseline. 10 to shoot. Off the glass. Too strong, no good. Rebound batted off the glass again. Schoenhoven comes away with it. Beckman back to Van Hollen. Van Hollen right side. Hymanson. Hymanson, Gustafson. Gustafson spins. Reverses Van Hollen. 3 off the iron, no good. And the rebound is taken away by Campbell. Here comes Dakota Wesleyan. Wesleyan with it, Ostis. Ostis back to Campbell. Campbell right side. She gives it up to Edelman. Edelman with the basketball. Edelman down to the baseline. This is Enan. Enan cut off. They throw it inside Edelman. Edelman scoops it up with the left hand. Can't get it to go. Rebound tipped out by Campbell. Controlled by Edelman. Edelman back to Ostis. Ostis to Enan. Enan out front with it. Tigers down by 3. Have the basketball. 7 on the shot clock. Back to Campbell. Campbell along 2. That one's no good. Rebound cleared by Beckman. Beckman with the basketball. Over at the hockey arena, the defenders leading 6-0. That's a depleted and worn out UNO team that are playing this afternoon. 28-25, Dordt with a lead. Gustafson misses on the shot in the lane. Bothered by Campbell, all 6'4" of her. And I think she might even be a little bit more than that. Shot on the way is up, no good, but a foul on the play called against Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven, the unenviable task of trying to match up with Campbell. Your best chance, in my opinion, maybe you can get this game up tempo and force Campbell to run. That might limit her minutes a little bit. Campbell's going to check, Schoenhoven stays in the ball game for the time being. Gustafson will check out. Gustafson has 1 personal. Schoenhoven has 2. They're going to leave Schoenhoven in for the moment. Shooting the free throws will be Campbell. Campbell, 6'4" senior from Alexandria, makes the first one, makes it 28-26. Another one on the way. And Campbell's right-handed free throw is up, skips out, no good. 28-26 defenders. And Macy Sievers has the basketball out front. Sievers into the lane. Comes back to Klecker. Klecker, Van Hollen. Van Hollen 3. Cash. Faith Van Hollen the three-pointer. She is the 6th player to score for the defenders. Dordt back up by 6. That is the 6th three-pointer made by, fifth three-pointer. Getting a little ahead of myself by the defenders so far. Van Holland against Enon plays pretty good defense that time. Schoonhoven gathers in the rebound. Here come the defenders. Sievers stops. Left side Van Holland. She's feeling it. Nope. In and out, no good. Rebound controlled by Dakota Wesleyan. Tigers up the floor quickly. With the basketball, Rosenquist. Rosenquist, Campbell. Campbell with the basketball out front. Campbell, they give it back out. And thinking about the three was Hansen. Instead, they go to Sprakel, and Sprakel travels with it as Klecker holds her ground. 5:05 remaining, first half. Now, I am a little surprised that Wesleyan did not make a conscious effort to get the ball inside to Campbell. That's Jada Campbell, guarded by Janie Schoonhoven, who's got 2 personal fouls. At least I think she does. Maybe she's only got the 1. Pass goes to Van Holland. Van Holland splashes in a baseline jumper from the short corner right side. 33-25. Well, I look up at the scoreboard, and they only have 1 on Schoonhoven so far, so maybe I'm off. Would not be the first time. Those who listen a long time, they know I make plenty of mistakes. With it out front, driving in is Reiner. Reiner hit on the arm, gets the shot to go, and that one will go on Schoonhoven. Reiner to the free throw line to try for the old-fashioned three-point play. Well, now I need to pull up the official stats. Oh, so they called Gustafson for that the previous one that I thought went on Schoonhoven. Reiner makes the free throw for the three-point play. She's got 8. And the defender lead is 33-29. Was a 7-point lead. A couple of the free throws make it 33. The three-point play makes it 33-29. Macy Sievers with it out front. Goes right side Klecker. 4:14 left in the half. Klecker down to the baseline over to Nielsen. Nielsen, they're not giving her any room to get one off. Comes back out front, Sievers. Sievers throws it into the corner, and we've seen that a couple of times where the freshman going just a hair fast, trying for that opposite wing pass, and just a little out of the reach. 4:05 left to play in the half. Dordt leading 33-29. Defenders have led the entire first half up to this point. With it on the wing, Reiner drops it in for Edelman. Edelman to Rosenquist. Rosenquist gets it back over to Edelman on the drive. Edelman with 7, and the defender lead is 33-31. Left side pass, Van Holland. Van Holland, Beckman too strong with the 3. Missed it strong, and the rebound is cleared by Morgan Edelman. Edelman over to Ostis. Ostis for the basketball. A 2 ties it. A 3 gives Dakota Wesleyan their first lead of the basketball game. Driving in, shot blocked, rebound taken away by Sievers. Sievers up the sideline with it, doesn't have the number. She's going to press the issue. Van Holland sets, fires 3, good. It swirls around and falls through. Faith Van Holland with 8 first half points, and the Dordt lead is 36-31. Throw it into the post, Reiner, guarded there by Faith Van Holland. Throws up a wild shot, does Reiner. Here comes Dordt. Back the other way, Sievers. Sievers with a head full of steam. Throws it back, Beckman. Beckman, 3 ball, too strong, no good. Rebound tapped out, controlled by Wesleyan. Cherry picking on the other end is Reiner. Reiner, layup good. Reiner never got back on defense. Hate to see that. Reiner never made it into the defensive fray, just camped out at midcourt and gets an easy basket. Now reaching Hansen, no call made. Klecker throws it, Sievers. Sievers 3, got it. 3-point basket for Macy Sievers. She's got 5. And the Dordt defenders lead it 39-33. 39-33, and Faith Van Holland trying to set up and take a charge. Instead, a blocking foul is going to be called on the defenders. And Ryn Ostis will go to the free throw line to shoot a couple. Ostis Ostis, a 50% free throw shooter this season. Faith Van Hollen called for the personal. And for Van Hollen, that's number 2 on her, and Dordt's trying to mix and match. Just trying to get to the halftime with nobody picking up their third, and they've planted Van Hollen, Gustafson, and Schoenhoven all on the bench with 2 personal fouls each. There's 2:18 remaining. Ostis, first free throw, good. Dakota Wesleyan so far 7 of 8 from the free throw line. Dordt 4 of 4. And a timeout on the floor. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more in 30 seconds.
Family, farm, business, community. People's Bank, where values matter.
We're back at the DeWitt Gym. Dordt leading 39-34. Ren Ostis shooting another free throw. And as I look at that one on the replay, now I have the courtesy of the replay. It looked like Faith Van Hollen was probably there. But my opinion, not the one that matters. McKenna Klecker fights for a rebound on the missed free throw by Ostis. Ostis 50% coming into the game. They give it off Caparis. Caparis blocked from behind by Espen Hansen. And here come the Dakota Wesleyan Tigers down 5. Ostis with the basketball goes over to Campbell. Campbell's pass is deflected. And last touch by Beckman. It will be Wesleyan basketball. Ostis is out of the ball game. And checking back in is Enan. 39-34, Dordt by 5. Defenders got the ball into the lane. Just not the matchup they wanted. Got the ball where they wanted it. Just now Campbell underneath, and Campbell, they run a screen for her, and Campbell gets the short shot to go. She's got 7, and the Dordt lead is 39-36. Sievers, right side Beckman. Beckman had the hot hand early. They go inside, intended for Caparis, and it's tapped away and controlled by Dakota Wesleyan. Wesleyan with the basketball. They'll run a set play. My bet is they want it in Reiner or Campbell's hands. They give it out front Hansen. Hansen with the basketball. And we've got an illegal screen called on Dakota Wesleyan and Isabel Enan. Enan whistled for her second personal foul. And that is foul number 2 of the period against Dakota Wesleyan as well. Dordt with the basketball. Macy Nielsen's going to check in. McKenna Klecker will check out. Faith Van Hollen will check in with a couple of fouls as well, so Dordt's going to roll the dice. Jason Christensen wants, he's trying to get a point across to Doug Veek, one of the 3 officials. And the Dordt defenders will bring the ball up. Bringing the basketball into the front court is Macy Sievers. Sievers with the ball. Sievers with it across the timeline. Macy setting the offense in between the circles. Looks high post, goes to Van Hollen. Van Hollen gets a screen from Caparis, throws it over to Beckman, 12 to shoot. Beckman with the basketball, back outside Van Hollen, 8 to shoot. Beckman back to Nielsen, 5 to shoot. Now Sievers. Sievers drives in, kick out, Beckman 3 at the horn, in and out, no good. Rebound taken away by Caparis, back to Van Hollen, that one's offline, no good. Rebound, fought for and taken, who are they gonna call that on? And they call the foul on Macy Sievers. She picks up her second. So Sievers called for her second personal foul with 40 seconds remaining in the half on the rebound. And now Dakota Wesleyan with the basketball, Reiner. Reiner looking down low. Instead, they throw it out front. Dakota Wesleyan with the basketball. It's taken away by Caparis. Caparis back to Sievers. Sievers driving in, left-handed layup. Count the hoop, and she is fouled. 2-point basket for Macy Sievers. That was set up by a steal by Caparis. And the Dordt defenders get a bucket, and that foul charged to Riley Rosenquist. Rosenquist a little late in arriving, and the Dordt defenders now with an opportunity to extend the lead. So free throw on the way for Sievers. That one's up and through. Macy Sievers, an 83% free throw shooter. Nielsen is in, Sievers is out. Dordt trying to protect players with 2 fouls. It seems like everybody's got 2. Gustafson has 2, Van Holland has 2, Schoenhoven has 2, Sievers has 2. McKenna Clucker, she's got 1. Defenders trying to get to the intermission with a lead, and nobody picking up their 3rd personal foul. Well, they're not going to because they're all on the bench. On the left-hand side, this is Edelman. Edelman to Hansen. Hansen against the defenders. Right-hand shot by Enan. Enan with the 2. Dordt at the horn. And that one's off the front of the rim. No good. And the Dordt defenders get to halftime with a 4-point lead, but some foul trouble. The Dordt defenders with a 42-38 lead at the break. Let's take a 1-minute break, just a 1-minute break, and we'll be back with a rundown of the highlights, and also we'll have the Dordt dance team performing as well. Let's take a 1-minute break. Back with more after this.
Here we live between big city and small town, but we don't do anything halfway. We play in a community that's safe for families while providing our kids big city opportunities. We work in a place proud of its rural history that's already writing its future in science and technology. This is a place where we love our neighbors and where a small town is more like a big family. Sioux Center, live life in the middle of everything.
It's halftime, and the Dordt defenders maintain a 42-38 lead at the intermission. Thank you. The defenders with a 4-point lead. They led by as many as 10, but that was way early at 12-2. They never relinquished the lead, even though Dakota Wesleyan cut the gap down to 1 at 24-23. They also had it at 1 a little bit earlier than that, I think. 36-30, no, that was 36-34, so maybe they only had it to 1 once. They had the ball with an opportunity to tie or take the lead on a couple different occasions, but that was with the defenders up by 2. Unofficially, the Dordt defenders led in the first half by Bailey Beckman. She came out firing. She had 13 points. Maddie Reiner leading Dakota Wesleyan with 12 points in the first half of play. Some other scores from around the conference that are beginning to trickle in. And I think I've got all but one. And that's Midland and Briar Cliff. No score reported on the Midland Briar Cliff contest so far. But other than that, at halftime, Concordia leading Hastings 34-24. Jamestown leads Mount Marty 35-21. Morningside leads Northwestern 39-34, and here on KIHK and the Dordt Media Network, it is Dordt 42, Dakota Wesleyan 38. Let's take a 2-minute break, and we'll be back with a rundown of the highlights and all of the numbers right after this 2-minute timeout.
Here we live between big city and small town, but we don't do anything halfway. We play in a community that's safe for families while providing our kids big city opportunities. We work in a place proud of its rural history that's already writing its future in science and technology. This is a place where we love our neighbors and where a small town is more like a big family. Sioux Center. Live life in the middle of everything.
Hello, fans of Defender Sports. Hope you're enjoying the game, whether you're a friend or family member of a player or coach, or a fan of the university. These players and coaches have put in hours and hours of practice, and it shows. But going into each and every game, there's one more thing that every coach makes sure the team has, and that's a game plan. If these players and coaches are willing to put this much time into planning for a game, how much more important is putting together a game plan for your financial life? Now, the financial world continually becomes more complicated, but if you don't have either the time or the desire to spend hours upon hours learning and keeping up with the changing rules of the game in the financial world, and then figuring out how that applies specifically to your financial life, you don't have to do it alone. For over 40 years, we've been helping households to build their financial game plan upon all the things more important than finances, while being good stewards of the resources God has entrusted to their care. Because there's things in life more important than money, and none of them are things. I'm Tom DeYoung, financial planner and president of Money Concepts, the planning firm. Check us out on the web or social media. Check out our podcast at moneyconceptsradio.com or your favorite podcast app, or schedule a complimentary meeting to see how a financial game plan might benefit you. Enjoy the rest of the game, and remember to spend your most valuable resources, your time and your attention, on the things in life that matter more than money.
We're at halftime. The Dordt defenders leading Dakota Wesleyan 42-38. A 4-point advantage for the defenders at the intermission. And I think we've got some highlights, so go ahead and run those here at halftime. And we'll fill you in on the stats as well at the same time. Dakota Wesleyan making 50% of their three-point shots in the first half, 3 for 6. The Dordt defenders, 7 of 15 from the three-point line, including 3 from Bailey Backman. Jada Campbell had some success late in the second quarter as the Dordt defenders got in foul trouble. She ends up with 7 points at halftime. Faith Van Hollen made 3 field goals in the first half for 8. Easy baskets hard to come by, and a rare run out. Maddie Reiner that time rewarded for not making it down on defense, and she was out near midcourt. They threw it to her, and she got the easy basket, 42-38, one of the few easy baskets here this afternoon. The defenders, here are the numbers at halftime. Dordt, 15 of 29 shooting, 52%, 7 of 15 from the three-point arc, 47%, 5 of 5 from the free throw line, 100%. Dordt with an 18-13 rebounding edge. Dordt has turned it over 7 times. Dakota Wesleyan has 6 turnovers. Wesleyan 14 of 29 shooting, 48%, 3 of 6 from the arc, 7 of 9 on free throws, 78%. The defenders are led in the first half by Bailey Beckman's 13 points. She got, I believe, all of those in the first quarter. 8 points for Faith Van Hollen. Carly Gustafson saddled with 2 early fouls, limited to 13 minutes of play. She's got 4 points. Jeannie Schoenhoven limited to 13 minutes of play. She has 6 points. She also has 2 personal fouls. 3 points for Hayden Hymanson, 8 for Macy Sievers off of the bench. Rebounds, Schoenhoven has 5. And you've got a slew of players with 2. Hymanson, Beckman, Gustafson, Van Holland, and Caparis all with 2 rebounds. For Dakota Wesleyan, they are topped by Isabel Enan and Maddie Reiner with 10 points apiece. So I'm missing a 2 for Enan. They've got her for 10. So one of them that I gave to Reiner, I've got to take away. They both got 10 points so far. 7 points for Jada Campbell, 7 for Morgan Edelman, 3 for Riley Rosenquist, 1 for Ren Ostis, for their total of 38 points. Now the Dordt defenders, they played it conservatively in the first half in terms of the foul trouble. They kept everybody on the bench that had 2 fouls as they got them, so they had to kind of limp into the halftime, leading by 4, 42-38, but they got there and nobody picked up their third foul in the process. So that's where we're at halftime, 42-38. We'll be back with a rundown of what's coming up in terms of Dordt athletics as we head towards the Christmas break. Let's take a 2-minute break, and we'll be back with more from the DeWitt in 2 minutes.
Today's Dordt Media Network live stream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University and sponsored by Sioux Center Health Therapy, partnering with Dordt University to provide quality care to all athletes. Sioux Center Health Therapy. And today's live stream broadcast brought to you by Verhoof Automotive. Verhoof Automotive in Sioux Center is your local Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chevrolet, and Buick dealer. Verhoof Automotive, worth the drive from anywhere.
From all of us at the Dordt Media Network, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thanks for watching.
Dordt leads 42-38. We've given you the recap on standing at halftime. Other halftime scores: Concordia leads Hastings 34-24. Jamestown leads Mount Marty 35-21. Briarcliff over Midland 46-32 at the half. And it is Morningside leading Northwestern 39-34. Actually, Briarcliff and Midland already into the second half, so they are up and running in Sioux City. So Morningside leading Northwestern 39-34, and that's on the road for Morningside. So I'm curious to see how that one plays out. And Concordia on the road leading Hastings as well, 34-24. Coming up for Dordt Athletics, we've got the Dordt track and field teams, a couple of some participants in Seward, Nebraska for the Concordia invite before we get to the semester break. That'll be it for the indoor track and field team this semester. They'll get going again after the second semester begins. And for the Dordt defenders as well, things are going to slow down dramatically here in the next week in terms of athletics. Now, students will tell you you're getting into the hectic time of the year because they've got testing and things like that to worry about. Junior varsity basketball is playing next week. The women's team, I've got them playing on the 12th. I'm going to double check that, make sure that they are still headed that way. And Mount Marty will be hosting Dordt in women's and men's basketball this Thursday, as the defenders conclude the first semester in terms of athletics with road contest this Thursday in Yankton against the Mount Marty Lancers in women's and men's basketball beginning at 6 o'clock. We're at halftime. Let's take one more 2-minute break, and we'll be back with the start of the second half right after this.
Today's Dordt Media Network live stream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University.
And today's broadcast sponsored by Ployne Publishing. Quality printing from design to delivery.
Two weeks ago, police got a report of a missing person. A week ago, another body turned up. And then just 4 days ago, a third body showed up.
How has the town reacted?
Oh, we're terrified.
But if it really was the killer that sent you this?
I know it seems sketchy, but
Liz, you'll get yourself killed out there.
Underway. Dakota Wesleyan with the basketball. They pass it into the lane, and the crossover move by Enan. Enan with 12, averaging 11.1 points per game. And now she steals it on the back end, and Dakota Wesleyan off and running. They get it to Edelman. Edelman shot in the lane, and we're tied 42 all. So Dakota Wesleyan with a fast start. Edelman with 9 points now, and we're tied 42-42. Hymanson with the basketball, goes right side to Van Hollen. Van Hollen, they dump it inside for Gustafson, and Gustafson tries to turn, and she has it tipped away, loses it out of bounds. Last touch by Dordt. It'll be Dakota Wesleyan basketball. So Wesleyan on a 4-0 run to start the second half. And they are on an 8-0 run dating back to the first half when it was 42-36. Shot in the lane, off the mark, no good by Reiner. Rebound cleared by the defenders. Dordt with the basketball. Up the floor, Hymanson. Hymanson has it on the right-hand side. Hymanson crosses back over to the top of the key. Goes left side, Beckman. Beckman with the basketball. 18 to shoot for the defenders. Beckman, pull up, left elbow, good. Bailey Beckman with a 2-point bucket. She's got 15, and the Dordt lead is 44-42. Right-hand side with it is Hanson. Hanson to Campbell. Campbell out on the perimeter. Jada Campbell passes out front. Look for the give and go. Enan keeps it herself. Enan back out front. It goes Reiner. Reiner, three, good. Maddie Reiner with the 3-point basket. She's got 13, and the Dordt defender lead is 45-44. 8:20 and counting, third quarter. They give it into Gustafson. Gustafson against Reiner. Gustafson too strong with the right hand. Rebound tipped and saved in by Dakota Wesleyan. They've got a chance to build on the 1-point lead. With the basketball on the left-hand side is Hanson. Hanson throws it in for Campbell. Campbell, and they throw it away. Firing it into the corner, and Enan wasn't expecting it. And the ball ends up out of bounds. Last touched by Dakota Wesleyan. It's Dordt basketball. So Dordt trailing by a point. Campbell will check out. Sprakel will check in. 8 minutes left to go in the third quarter, so Campbell getting a quick breather here early in the second half. Out front is Hymanson. Hymanson looking. Hymanson goes high post. Gustafson gives it back to Hymanson on the handoff. Left side, Beckman. Beckman looks for the interference from Gustafson. Gets some now. Pass comes to Gustafson. Elbow jumper left side, no good. And Gustafson limited on offense so far in this one. Dordt trailing 45-44. Wesleyan basketball. They throw it in for Sprakel. Sprakel against Schoenhoven. Reiner Comes back over to Edelman. Edelman driving in, reaches up with the right hand, lays it up. Edelman with 11, and the defenders trail 47-44. Dakota Wesleyan has outscored Dordt 9-2 to start the second half, and Dordt forced to use a timeout. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more in 30 seconds.
This Dordt Media Network student-produced live stream broadcast is brought to you by Joyner and Zwart Dentistry in Orange City, offering dentures, implants, and dental care for your whole family in a modern and friendly atmosphere.
And sponsored by Sioux Center Health Therapy, partnering with Dordt University to provide quality care to all athletes. Sioux Center Health Therapy.
Defenders trailing by 3, 47-44. Throwing the ball in will be Faith Van Hollen. Van Hollen triggering in front of the defender scores table. Pass goes into Hymanson. Hymanson over the basketball. Hymanson on the right-hand side. Schoenhoven reverses to Beckman. Beckman with the basketball, back to Schoenhoven, back to Bailey. Bailey with it, right side. Into the corner, Hymanson. Hymanson too strong with the three, no good. And the rebound controlled by Dakota Wesleyan. Wesleyan over the basketball on the right-hand side. They give it up Sprakel. Sprakel on the wing, Edelman. Edelman with it out front. Edelman gets a ball screen from Reiner. Now Reiner gets the return pass. Dump it into Sprakel. Sprakel over the basketball. Sprakel back outside Hansen. Hansen over the basketball to Reiner. Reiner on the left wing. Dakota Wesleyan 5 to shoot. Now 4. Out front, driving in, right-hand side, and they bail her out with a late foul call. Shot clock expiring, and Isabel Enan will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Foul charge to Backman. So Backman whistled for the personal. That's her first. First one up and good. Enan now with 13. Second free throw on the way, trying to extend it to a 5-point ball game. And this one's up and down as well, 49-44. Enan with 14, and the Dordt defenders bring the basketball back the other way. Out front is Hymanson with it on the right side. Hymanson looking down low, goes to Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven back to Beckman. Beckman with it, Dordt down 5. Beckman driving in, right-hand layup, good. Bailey Beckman with 17. Dordt trailing 49-46. Wesleyan basketball, 16 minutes left to play in the half. Sprakel with it, and Sprakel's going to be called for a double dribble. And the Dordt fans helping out Chad DeYoung with that call. DeYoung just took him just that split second to seem like to compute what Sprakel did. Sprakel dribbled the ball with both hands and gets called for the double dribble. It'll be Dordt basketball. Over at the hockey arena, the defenders are going to beat UNO. It's 8-1 right now, and that UNO team, as I said, a little depleted. They had 5 players leave the team last night, from what I understand. With the basketball, Sievers. Sievers throws it into the corner. Klecker, 3-ball on the way, in and out, no good. Rebound cleared by Dakota Wesleyan. Wesleyan with the basketball, and Wesleyan takes it across the timeline. Maddie Reiner with it. Reiner with the basketball, comes back out front to Enan. Enan in between the circles. Enan back to Ostis. Ostis, left-hand side, Rosenquist. Rosenquist gets the ball back to Enan. Enan, right-hand side, Reiner, 9 to shoot. Puts it on the floor against Klecker. Off-balance shot, no good. Rebound cleared by the defenders. And Beckman. Beckman with the basketball. Tipped, her pass tipped. She retrieves it. Comes back to Sievers. Dordt down 3. Gustafson sets a pick for Sievers. Right side Beckman for the tie. Nope. Rebound tipped and controlled by Klecker. Ball deflected. Picked up by Gustafson, and she is fouled on the play. Foul's going to go on Dakota Wesleyan's Maddie Reiner. Reiner whistled for the personal. That's her first. The senior from Tripp, South Dakota. Throwing the ball in, left side will be Sievers. So Sievers will throw the ball in. Ostis checks out. Edelman is back in. Dordt throwing it in. They get it into Nielsen to Gustafson. Gustafson with the basketball, hands it back to Sievers. Dordt down 3. Sievers at the free throw line. Nielsen at the top of the key, right-hand side, Klecker. 8 to shoot for the defenders. Now Beckman with the basketball. Beckman puts it up, and she is fouled on the play. She'll shoot 2 free throws. That foul is charged to Dakota Wesleyan's Morgan Edelman. Edelman whistled for the personal foul. 2 free throws on the way for Bailey Beckman. Beckman with 17. The Dordt defenders trying to whittle away at what was a 5-point lead. First free throw is up and through. Beckman now 3 for 3 from the free throw line. And another one on the way, and every chance he gets, Jason Christensen is lobbying the officials. Second free throw is up and good. This time he's bending the ear again of Doug Veek. Both free throws made by Beckman. It's 49-48, 4.5 left to go. And a blocking foul called as Riley Rosenquist puts it on the floor and charges to the baseline. So the foul called against the defenders. That's going to go on Macy Nielsen, and for Macy, that's number 1. Team foul number 2 against the defenders in this quarter. Throwing the ball in, Edelman. No, that beg your pardon, with the basketball is Enan. Enan off of the glass, no good. There for the rebound and the putback is Campbell. Jada Campbell with 9. Dordt trails 51-48. Right side with it is Sievers. Sievers with the basketball. Macy puts it on the deck with a left hand. Sievers picks up her dribble, looking, goes right side. Nielsen 3, good. Macy Nielsen with the triple, and the Dordt defenders tied at 51-51. 3:57 left to play. Third quarter, Campbell, they dig down on her, they give it back, and the shot no good by Reiner. Here comes Dordt in transition. Nielsen gets it, no, this is Beckman, left corner, 3-ball, got it. 3-point basket by Bailey Beckman. She camped out in the left corner. Sievers found her. Now Wesleyan with the basketball. Reiner hands it back off. They get it back over to Edelman. Edelman with it. 3:25 left in the third. Long ways to go in this one. Dordt regains the lead. Back-to-back threes by the defenders, Nielsen and Beckman. They look inside for Campbell. Instead, it's Reiner. Reiner, 3 seconds. Still looking. Puts up the contested shot. Misses everything. Shot it too strong. And the Dordt defenders will get the basketball back on the shot clock by Olation. So Dordt will get it back. And a timeout on the floor, charged to Dakota Wesleyan. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more in 30 seconds.
Hi, I'm Quentin Olson. I'm from Homeland, Wisconsin, and my favorite thing about the Dordt Media Network is that all the productions are student-ran. With little guidance, we get to do everything you see on the screen by ourselves. I'd like to shout out my friends and family back home. Thanks for watching the Dordt Media Network.
My name is Sean Solano. I'm a junior here at Dordt, and I'm from Managua, Nicaragua. I love working for the Dordt Media Network because the people I get to work with, learning the amazing camera operating system, and being able to watch all the games, especially a great way to spend my Fridays and Saturdays. Thanks for watching the Dordt Media Network.
Dordt by 3 with the basketball, 3:06 left in the third. Today's broadcast brought to you by Wireless World, your local Verizon authorized retailer. 7 locations in Northwest Iowa. Visit them at wirelessworld.com. They bring you the pregame and postgame shows on the Dordt Media Network and on KIHK broadcast. Dordt basketball after the timeout. Macy Sievers with it out front. Dordt's got a little bit of momentum going. They throw it down low for Schoenhoven, and the ball is tipped out of bounds. Last touch by Aspen Hansen. Schoenhoven's got to lean into Campbell so hard that you throw it a little bit off her extended hand. It's hard for her to reverse the inertia, if you will, and get out there. Fortunately, it was tipped by Dakota Wesleyan. Sievers with it, 12 to shoot for the defenders. Sievers, 15-footer, blocked McKenna Klecker trying to save it in, and they say that she stepped on the sideline, out of bounds, on the baseline, out of bounds. It will be Dakota Wesleyan basketball. It's final at the All-Season Center, Vernon Arena, 8-1 final. Defenders go into the break with a couple of wins this weekend over the Mavericks from UNO. With it on the left-hand side, this is Edelman. Edelman inside Campbell. Campbell hook shot, missed it, no good. Rebound taken away by Severs. Severs with the basketball. Macy into the front court, trying to sidestep Reiner. Throws it back over to Klecker. Klecker with the basketball. McKenna with it out front. Throws it left side, Van Hollen. Van Hollen, three-ball corner, in and out, no good. Rebound Klecker, back to Van Hollen. Nielsen thought about the three, gives it instead over to Severs. Severs throws it into the corner of Van Hollen, 15 to shoot for the defenders. And Van Hollen is bumped out of bounds by Morgan Edelman. That'll be foul number 2 on Edelman. 2 minutes remaining in the third period. Neither team in foul trouble now. Dordt was in a heap of foul, not trouble, but concern, we'll call it. At halftime, they had a bunch of players with 2 fouls each. None of them have picked up their third. Faith Van Hollen to throw the ball in for the defenders. Fresh 20 for Dordt to work with. Van Hollen looking over the top, finds Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven back over to Van Hollen. 2 minutes remaining in the quarter. Right side it comes, back over to Hymanson, back to Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven jumper, right side, no good, and the rebound cleared by Dakota Wesleyan. Off and running with the basketball. They feed the trailer. Reiner underneath Campbell. Campbell off the side of the backboard, no good. Rebound controlled by Gustafson. Here come the defenders, Hymanson. Right side, Beckman. Beckman ball fake, drives in, puts it up, blocked from behind by Reiner, and here comes Dakota Wesleyan. Wesleyan over the basketball. Wesleyan on the left wing. Reiner with it out front. Reiner passes it right side. They give it to Campbell. Campbell turn around to the lane. Good. Jada Campbell with the 2-point bucket. It's 54 to 53. Minute remaining in the quarter. Dordt by 1. Right side it goes to Beckman. Beckman, Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven, Gustafson. Gustafson is fouled, and Carly will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. Foul goes on Campbell. That's number 2 on her. So Jada Campbell commits the personal. She'll check out. Sprakel will check in. And a couple of free throws coming here for Carly Gustafson. Gustafson with 4 points. And that one rims out, no good. It's been a tough go of it for Gustafson so far today. Others have picked up the slack. Second free throw by Gustafson, no good. And the rebound is cleared by Dakota Wesleyan. So Wesleyan over the basketball, leading by 1 are the defenders. Tigers have it under a minute to go, third period. Left side of the basketball, they feed it out front, swing it over to Edelman. Edelman with the basketball, Reiner, step back 3, short, no good. And the ball goes out of bounds, last touch by Dakota Wesleyan. It'll be Dordt basketball with 38.8 seconds left to go in the period. Dordt can hold for the final shot if, well, they can hold it under 10. That'll still give Dakota Wesleyan plenty of time, so I'm not sure you want to deviate too much from your regular offense. With it on the left-hand side is Hymanson. They've tried to run a pick and roll. They hedge on the screen. Pass goes to Gustafson, 12 to shoot. Gustafson off of the glass on the reverse layup. Got around Sprakel. Carly Gustafson with 6. Dordt leading 56-53. 11 seconds left to go in the quarter. Dordt does have fouls to give in terms of team fouls. Got to have the right person pick it up, though. Reiner putting it on the floor against Gustafson. Her shot off the heel, no good. Put back by Sprakel, no good. And we've made it through 3 periods. Our score, Dordt 56, Dakota Wesleyan 53. Let's take a 1-minute break, and we'll be back with the fourth quarter right after this. 56-53, the defenders get on track late in the third quarter. They were outscored 15-14, so their lead, that was 4 at the break, eventually turned into a 5-point deficit at 49-44, but the defenders outscored Dakota Wesleyan 12-4 the rest of the period. And Dordt leads at 56-53 over the basketball as we begin the fourth quarter of play. 10 minutes to go in this one. Dordt trying to remain unbeaten. Dakota Wesleyan trying to pull the defenders back a little closer to the pack. With the basketball out front, Sievers. Campbell tries to jump out and jam on the pick and roll. Sievers picks up her dribble, throws it back to Gustafson. Gustafson spins into the lane, and Gustafson is knocked to the floor. No call, other than they're going to call her for a travel. So Gustafson is going to check out of the ball game. So Gustafson, I'm not sure what transpired there, if there was a bump or she simply slipped, twisted an ankle. She checks out. She's going to take a walk over by the water coolers. Dakota Wesleyan basketball now, trailing by 3 are the Tigers. They look, they throw it right side back over to Hansen. Hansen over the basketball. Hansen to Campbell, and they're going to call a foul on Schoenhoven. So Schoenhoven whistled for the personal foul. Most of the Dordt crowd thought Schoenhoven beat Campbell to the spot on the block. Schoenhoven picks up her third personal in the process. Reiner now guarded by Klecker. Dordt's going to have to do it with their defense here late. 9:20 left to go. They throw it in for Campbell. Shot off the glass, no good. Rebound, Hansen, ball deflected, and a sea of hands. And Schoenhoven comes up with it. Sievers ahead, Klecker. Klecker on the left side. Klecker back over to Sievers. Sievers for the basketball. Gets around the defender. Pass right side, Klecker. Get in there. Yes. 3-point basket, McKenna Klecker. Her first triple of the day. Dordt leads 59-53. Quickly up the floor with it. Dakota Wesleyan's going to call a timeout with 8:51 left to play in the game. Dordt up 59-53. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more in 30 seconds.
Some people say life is just a series of events, a long line of happy accidents, just falling into place. But we see it a little differently here at Dordt. We work hard to bring out the best in you. We push you to strive for the bright future God has planned for you. Now is the time to bring your passion to life here at Dordt. Be part of something special.
(59-53), the defenders by 6. Reminder that our pregame and postgame shows brought to you by Wireless World, your local Verizon authorized retailer with 7 locations in Northwest Iowa. You can visit them at wirelessworld.com. Hansen over the basketball. She passes right wing. 8:30 left to play in the game. Right side, Reiner. Reiner underneath. Reiner, they go to posting up Morgan Edelman. Edelman with 13. And the defender lead is 59-55. 59-55 our score. With the basketball out front, Sievers. Sievers in between the circles. Sievers looking. She throws right side and out of the reach of Faith Van Hollen. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll be Dakota Wesleyan basketball on the turnover. So the Tigers posting up with Morgan Edelman on that last possession, backing her way in against Bailey Backman, and Dordt with a 4-point lead. Dakota Wesleyan has the basketball. They're looking down low for Hansen. They're trying to post up the guards now. Right side they go Reiner. Reiner to Hansen. Hansen over the basketball out front. Comes back to Edelman. Edelman with the drive on the right side. Spin move into the lane. Tough shot. Can't get it to go. Rebound Sievers. Sievers does not have the numbers. Macy will bring the ball into the front court. Sievers with it on the left-hand side. Macy picks up her dribble. Comes over to Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven backdoor cut. They give it up Sievers. Sievers layup good. Macy Sievers with 10 on the give from Schoenhoven. Dordt leads 61-55. 7.5 left to go. Campbell with it. Comes back out front. Right side. Reiner cut off. Ball deflected, picked up. They get inside to Campbell. Campbell shot no good. Rebound Beckman. Beckman takes one away. Dordt leading by 6, 61-55. Bailey with the basketball. Bailey stops, reverses, Sievers, Van Hollen pull up, 10-footer, got it! Faith Van Hollen, 10 points tonight for Faith. Dordt leads 63-55. 6:55 left to play in the game. Both teams with 3 timeouts remaining. We've got a foul called away from the ball on McKenna Klecker. Klecker called for her second personal. Carly Gustafson returns to the game along with Macy Nielsen and Hayden Hymanson. 6:55 left. Dordt up by 8. Boy, you'd like it to be about 1:55 left. They're looking inside. Ball deflected out by Hayden Hymanson on the inbounds play. No time comes off of the clock. Well, maybe a second. Wesleyan throwing the ball in. Left side of the lane as we face the hoop. Edelman to trigger. Edelman looking. And Edelman throws over the top, finds Reiner. 20 seconds. That's on the shot clock. Enan with it. Enan gets a ball screen. Pass goes right side. That was Campbell who set the ball screen. 10 to shoot. They throw it underneath for Campbell. Campbell shot in the lane, no good. Rebound deflected by Gustafson, picked up by Nielsen. Here comes Dordt with a chance for a little separation. Sievers with the basketball. 24 on the shot clock, 6:30 on the game clock. Sievers gives it back over to Nielsen. Nielsen, player riding on her hip the whole way. Comes back left side over to Klecker. Klecker with the basketball, 13 to shoot. Back to Sievers, 12. Macy Sievers calling the shots from out top. Sievers crosses over, kicks it right side. Hymanson, 3-ball on the way. Bang, bang, bang. Hayden Hymanson, her second 3 of the game. Dordt leads 66-55, and the defenders lead it by 11 with 6:06 remaining, and we have a timeout on the floor. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more in 30 seconds.
From all of us at the Dordt Media Network, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thanks for watching.
Well, the Dordt defenders leading by 11, 66-55, and since they were down 49-44, they've outscored Dakota Wesleyan 22-6. This is a nice little run by the defenders. So Dakota Wesleyan brings the ball up, 6 minutes remaining, down by 11. Reiner with the basketball, looking for Sprakel. Instead, free throw line jumper misses wide, and Sprakel out of bounds, tries to save it in, went airborne to try and tap it back in, but problem was she was standing out of bounds when the ball came down, so she was not established inbounds as she tried to save it in. Bringing the basketball up now is Macy Sievers. Sievers with it on the right-hand side. Macy has it at the top of the key, picks up her dribble, throws it down low. Sconey off of the glass, good. Jamie Schoenhoven just keeps working, gets free underneath, and the defenders lead at 68-55. Sprakel with it, 5.5 left to go in the game. Sprakel trying to post up. Instead, they give it out on the perimeter to Rin Ostis, guarded there by Nielsen. Ostis, no room to go. Comes back, left side. This is Edelman. Edelman driving in, right hand, left side, good. Edelman with a 2-point bucket. She showed up today. She's got 15. Dordt leads 68-57, 5:09 remaining. Still got some work to do if you're Dordt. Got to keep matching buckets right now. With it out front is Klecker. Klecker to Hymanson. Hymanson, bounce pass into Schoenhoven. 10 to shoot. Comes back over to Sievers. Sievers with it out front. Sievers puts it on the floor. Splits the defense. Shot no good. Gets her own rebound back. She'll dribble it back out. Comes back to Nielsen. Nielsen, Klecker, 15 to shoot for the defenders. Dordt will run a little time. With it out front is Sievers. Sievers, heady play that time rather than going back up with it. Wants to run a little clock. Now she drives in. Cut off, 5 to shoot. Underneath Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven off of the glass, good. Jamie Schoenhoven another 2. She keeps working. What did I just say on the last possession? She will not stop trying to get open, and Sievers finds her 2 times in a row. Dordt leading by Baker's dozen. Shot in the lane. A turnaround is up and good. Morgan Edelman scores quickly. She's got 17. Dordt leads 70 to 59. 4:05 left to play. Sievers with it out front. Gets a ball screen from Schoenhoven. Spins. Nothing there and threw it away. 70 to 59. We've seen a couple of those, and that's something a little out of the ordinary for Dordt to try to pass to that spot. That's where the help is coming from, so it's a little longer pass, and Dordt's had a few turnovers on that pass that's going cross court. Dordt by 11, 3:50 left to go. Wesleyan got it on the turnover. Now they throw it out front. With the basketball is Enan. Enan back to Edelman. Edelman to Hansen. Hansen trying to post up Nielsen. Puts it up off of the rim. Good. Aspen Hansen with her first 2 today. Dordt leads 70 to 61. Dordt can't get too conservative here. And we've got a foul out front called on Morgan Edelman. So Dordt leads by 9, 70 to 61. I'm very grateful the defenders had that Baker's dozen cushion. Aspen Hansen averaging 6 points per game. She's got her first 2 on that last possession. Now inbounding will be Faith Van Hollen. Dordt with it, 22 seconds on the shot clock. That was foul number 1 on Dakota Wesleyan in this period. Schoenhoven against Campbell. Gets it blocked. Dordt with it. Right side. Back to Nielsen. 3-ball too strong. No good. Rebound tapped out and controlled by Wesleyan. And here come the Tigers. Dordt needs a stop now. Leading by 9. 70 to 61. Hansen with the basketball. Hansen gives it up to Edelman. Wesleyan under 3 to go. Pass goes underneath Reiner. Reiner puts it up off the glass. Good. And a foul called late from the opposite wing. So the basket is good. They'll award the basket to Reiner. Reiner now with 15. And they'll try to make it a 6-point ball game with a free throw here. Reiner, a 78% free throw shooter. Dordt, she's 2 for 2 today. And the oddity of that one was where that foul call came from. The opposite wing. As you saw that replay, it was not the official underneath that made that call. Missed free throw by Reiner. Dordt gathers it in, and Dordt will bring it up. Dordt leading by 3 possessions, 70 to 63. Beckman with the basketball out front. Dordt with 3 timeouts remaining. Beckman picks up her dribble, passes it over to Klecker. Klecker with the ball. Klecker gives it up Sievers. Sievers, Schoenhoven, 10 to shoot. Now Sievers. Sievers with it on the elbow. Back it goes Beckman. 7 to shoot for the defenders. Beckman pull up. 15-footer. Rims it. No good. Rebound cleared by Wesleyan. Wesleyan with a chance to cut into the 7-point lead. Yeah, you're going to have to finish this one out if you're Dordt. You're up by 7 right now. With the basketball out front, Enan. Enan back to Edelman. You got to get a stop. They throw it in for Cunningham. Pardon me, Campbell, that is. Shot no good, the runner. Rebound cleared by Nielsen, under 2 to go. So Campbell, the runner by Wesleyan was no good. Dordt has the basketball and the lead, and they will call a timeout. They've got 2 remaining. We'll have a game reset when we're back in a minute. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more in 1 minute.
Hey there, my name is Eli Avtinsky, and I'm from Cedar Rapids, Iowa. One of my favorite things about being in the Dordt Media Network is you get to learn about cinematography while also getting to watch and learn more about your favorite sports. Shout out to my friends and family back home, and thank you for watching the Dordt Media Network.
Hi, I'm Jonah Hoffmeyer from Paulina, Iowa. Something I like about the Dordt Media Network is all the equipment that we get to learn each year. I'd like to give a shout out to my family in Paulina and my sister in Orange City. Thank you for watching the Dordt Media Network.
Well, here's your game reset. Dordt sitting on a 70-63 advantage. And the Dordt defenders leading 70-63. Dordt with 3 fouls. Dakota Wesleyan with 1 in the period. So Dort's got 1 to give. Wesleyan can play it very aggressively here. Faith Van Hollen throws it in, gets it into Sievers. Sievers will bring it up. Dordt has 2 timeouts remaining, as does Dakota Wesleyan. Dordt with the basketball, Sievers. Right now, Dordt going without Carly Gustafson. Gustafson left the game, came back, played a little bit, and then checked back out of the contest. She's on the bench right now. Beckman pull up, 15-footer, missed it, no good. 90 seconds left. It's 70-63. Dort's going to have to do it with their defense. Into the front court is Enan. Enan throws it down low. Campbell off of the glass, good. Jada Campbell with 13. Dordt leads 70-65. It's a 2-possession game as we whittle it down to the final minute. Sievers with it, and Sievers is ridden on the shoulder. Aspen Hansen commits the personal foul. That's foul number 1 on her. Shot clock will stay at 21. I don't like the way this one is headed. Dort's going to have to, well, you score here. You get a field goal, you're in pretty good shape. Here's Sievers. Sievers splitting the defense, and a foul called on the play against Edelman. Edelman whistled for her 4th. It's team foul number 3 against Wesleyan, so I don't know if Wesleyan is intentionally fouling here to get up so that if they need to, they won't have to spend valuable time with it. Now they're going to back off and play it straight. Ball inbounded to Beckman. 1 minute remaining in the contest. Dordt leading by 5. They hand it to Sievers. Sievers with it. Sievers driving in, and Sievers is going to be called for a charge. Offensive foul called on Macy Sievers, and now the Dordt defenders will have to play defense. Under a minute to go. Dordt on defense. 2 timeouts remaining for Wesleyan. They can advance it to half court if they want. They won't this time. They'll save it. So Dordt has a foul. No, they don't have a foul to give any longer after that one. Pass goes into the corner. 3 on the way. Off the rim, no good. And a foul called on the rebound. A push called on Aspen Hansen. And that's number 2. And Dordt will use a timeout to advance the basketball. So Dordt will call the timeout. They'll advance the basketball. And this will be a full-length timeout. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Let's take a 30-second break. Make sure we don't miss anything, and we'll be back with more in 30 seconds. Weekend beating Dakota Wesleyan and Jamestown on the road. And then they're trailing here today at home against Concordia. Dordt leads 70-65. The defenders Throwing the ball in will be Faith Van Hollen. Got to get the ball inbounded. Nobody with fouls to give any longer. Van Hollen looking, throws for Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven off of the glass, good. She had to stretch out for that one, off of her fingertips. She grabbed it. And now the defenders with a 2-point lead, a 7-point lead, 72-65, and they will stop the clock. It'll be Dakota Wesleyan basketball, length of the floor in front of them, and I believe Jason Christensen's going to call for a timeout. They can advance the basketball, but that's a big hoop. That puts Dordt up by 7. It's a 3-possession ball game now, and Schoenhoven had to stretch out all of her 5'10" frame. Got that one just on the fingertips and reeled it in, and now Dakota Wesleyan will call the timeout. Timeout Tigers, Dordt by 7, trying to stay unbeaten. Timeout on the floor, brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Let's take a 30-second break. Be back with more from the DeWitt right after this timeout.
This Dordt Media Network student
Now Carly Gustafson. Gustafson, not sure what happened. Looked like it might have been her hip. That was what she was favoring as she left the floor initially in the first half. Earlier in the second half of play, she went to the training room. She came back in. She played once. I think she went up and down the floor once, and that was all she could go. And Dordt's going without her here, and the defenders, some of them having to grow up as they go. Doesn't hurt to have Bailey Beckman, a senior battler, on the floor. It'll be Wesleyan basketball, 43.2 seconds remaining. They trail by 7. Wesleyan running an out-of-bounds play. They get it in to Campbell. Campbell looking for the handoff. Gets it away, throw it into the right corner. Shots off the offline, no good. Rebound taken away by Sievers. Sievers with the basketball, and Macy Sievers. At the end of this one, she's probably going to be a little down about the turnovers. Most point guards remember those, but they don't necessarily remember all the good plays. But Sievers has made plenty of them today. How about this for a line from the freshman point guard? 10 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 assists. I'll take that in a reserve role anytime. 11 points now for Sievers. Another one on the way. Sievers with 8. This will make it 9 and make it really tough. Free throws up and good. Sievers a little bit cold-blooded too. Not afraid of the moment. 74-65. Wesleyan basketball. Campbell shot off the heel, no good. Rebound taken away by Beckman, and Beckman is fouled on the arm, and I feel pretty good about the Dordt defenders heading into next week, 12-0. Bailey Beckman. Beckman with 13 in the first half. Came back with 9 in the second half. Got Dordt going a little bit when they were struggling from the field. Morgan Edelman has just picked up her 5th foul. She will leave with 17 unofficially. And Bailey Beckman will step to the free throw line and try to put this one away. That one refuses to fall through. Beckman 4 of 5 now from the free throw line, 78%. Dordt leading by 9. This could make it a 4-possession game and as much as seal it, and does. 75-65. Great finish by the defenders today. They were down 49-45 at one point. Shot no good from the perimeter. Rebound taken away by Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven dribbles it out. 12 seconds remaining. And Wesleyan will concede it. And the Dordt defender women are 12-0. 7-0 in the conference as the Dordt defender women fight off a very feisty and battle-tested Wesleyan team. Dordt gets the win today, 75-65. 65. That's a 10-point victory for the defenders. Let's take a 2-minute break, and we'll be back with the Wireless World post-game show right after this 2-minute timeout.
Two weeks ago, police got a report of a missing person. A week ago, another body turned up. And then just 4 days ago, a third body showed up.
How has the town reacted?
Well, we're terrified.
But if it really was the killer that sent you this...
I know it seems sketchy, but...
Liz, you'll get yourself killed out there.
Hi, I'm Derek Coops. I'm a senior here. I'm from Sioux Center, Iowa, and I love working at the Dordt Media Network because it's a lot of fun working with everyone and watching all the sports games. Thanks for watching the Dordt Media Network.
Hi, I'm Nathan Suleiman. I'm from Singapore, and one thing I love about the Dordt Media Network is that it is always a good time on the job. Shout out to my mom, my dad, my fiance who's probably watching this. Thank you for watching the Dordt Media Network.
Hi, I'm Glory Wrights from Neosho, Missouri. I love working for Dordt Media Network because I get to work with an awesome crew of people and spend the weekends learning to push myself in camera work and directing. Thank you for watching the Dordt Media Network.
From all of us at the Dordt Media Network, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thanks for watching.
Dordt Defender women moved to 12-0 overall this season, 7-0 in the conference as they fight off a Dakota Wesleyan team that came out firing in the second half. Got up 49-44 did Dakota Wesleyan. Dordt was able to battle back though and tied at 51 all and led 56-53 at the break, at the quarter break that is. Dordt then hit a 3 to go up 6, 59-53. Wesleyan answered with a bucket, 59-55, and then Dordt scores the next 9 to go up 68-55, and from there the defenders able to secure the win. Wesleyan did get it down to 5, 70-65, but then Janie Schoenhoven got an inbounds pass underneath the basket, wide open. The pass was just about out of her reach. She was able to reach out and latch onto it off her own deflection. Made the basket to go up 7, and that changed the complexion of it. Dordt was up 3 possessions at that point, and they ride it in for the win. Get a free throw late from Bailey Beckman, and the Dordt defenders win it by a final of 75-65. The defenders led unofficially by Bailey Beckman with 23. Dakota Wesleyan was topped by Morgan Edelman with 17. Maya Wilson, I don't know if she was hurt. I did not notice her hurt. She started today but only played 4 minutes. And it was Edelman playing 32 minutes, so she ate up the bulk of those minutes, vacated by Maya Wilson only playing 4 this afternoon. You're listening to the Wireless World post-game show. Brought to you by Wireless World, your local Verizon authorized retailer with 7 locations in Northwest Iowa. Visit them at wirelessworld.com. Let's take a look at those highlights on the Dordt Media Network as we continue to look at some of the numbers for the this afternoon's contest. Dakota Wesleyan early on in the second half, they got things going, and you thought Dordt might be in trouble. Maddie Reiner hit a 3, her only 3 of the game. Bailey Beckman, though, after a quiet second quarter, came back. She knocked down, she got Dordt going when the defenders were struggling from the floor. Then Wesleyan changed tactics. Rather than playing their posts in the post, they tried posting up their guards. Had a little bit of success with that. And then it was Hayden Hymanson knocking down a triple. And the Dordt defenders make enough plays down the stretch to win it 75-65. Here are the numbers for today's ball game. And thank you to our stat crew today, Jeff Sager, Carter Scott, Megan Vanderkoy working, making sure we've got all the digits up here in the live stats. Dordt 27 of 55 from the floor, 49%, 11 of 24 from the three-point line, 46%, 10 of 13 on free throws, 77%. Dordt also had a 37 to 27 rebounding edge. Dakota Wesleyan 26 of 60 from the floor, 43%, 4 of 12 on threes, 33%, 9 of 12 on free throws, 75%. Turnovers, Dordt committed 13, Dakota Wesleyan had 10. Individually, the Dordt defenders led by Morgan Edelman. Try that again. The Dakota Wesleyan Tigers led by Morgan Edelman. She was 8 of 12 from the floor for 17. Maddie Reiner with 15 on 6 of 16 shooting. Isabel Enan with 14. Jada Campbell had 13. 3 for Riley Rosenquist, 2 for Aspen Hansen, 1 for Ren Ostis for 65 points total. For the Dordt defenders today, 23 by Bailey Beckman, 7 of 17 from the floor, 4 of 9 on threes. 12 points each for Janie Schoenhoven and Macy Sievers. Schoenhoven 5 of 7 from the floor, Sievers 4 of 6, including 3 of 3 from the free throw line. Faith Van Holland ended up with 10. Carly Gustafson limited today with foul trouble early and then left with, after she slipped and fell, with 6 points. Hayden Hymanson with 6 on a pair of threes. 3 each for Macy Nielsen and 3 for McKenna Klecker for their total of 75. Macy Sievers leading rebounder with 8. Janie Schoenhoven had 7. Bailey Beckman had 5. 4 rebounds for Carly Gustafson. Assists, Macy Sievers had 8. Faith Van Holland and Janie Schoenhoven had 2. McKenna Klecker had a pair. Dordt with 4 steals, won by 4 different players. And the defenders never ended up getting into foul trouble. Ended up with 3 players with 3 fouls apiece. For Dakota Wesleyan, Edelman led them with 17, and I told you about their individuals. Jada Campbell closes with 9 rebounds. Maddie Reiner had 4 assists, and Isabel Enan had 3 rebounds and 3 assists. Dordt wins it by a final of 75-65. Let's take a 2-minute break, and we'll be back with, hopefully, Coach Bill Harmson makes his way out of the locker room. Some days it's tougher to get him than others, but we'll tread water for a little while. Yep, I know, back in the truck you want to do your restart. We'll make sure that we get that taken care of. Right now, let's take a 2-minute timeout. We'll be back with more from the DeWitt Gym right after this timeout.
From all of us at the Dordt Media Network, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thanks for watching.
2 weeks ago, police got a report of a missing person. A week ago, another body turned up. And then just 4 days ago, a 3rd body showed up.
How has the town reacted?
Well, we're terrified.
But if it really was the killer that sent you this...
I know it seems sketchy, but...
Liz, you'll get yourself killed out there.
When you add up all the Wi-Fi connected devices in your home these days, you'll be surprised at how many there are and how much bandwidth they're using. Do the math. It just may add up to needing faster Wi-Fi. Premier Communications has you covered with reliable internet speeds up to 1 gig. Keep everything connected with Premier Communications. Visit us online at mypremieronline.com or call at 1-800-741-8351. Premier Communications. Looking ahead.
I haven't seen any players out of the locker room yet. Haven't seen Coach Harmson either. Scores in the conference today, and we'll scratch out the standings as we go. As we take a look at the scores from the Wireless World on the Wireless World post-game show. The game you just got done listening to, Dordt defeats Dakota Wesleyan 75-65. The defenders are now 7-0. And Dakota Wesleyan slips to 4-3 in the conference. It was Concordia over Hastings 70-57. Hastings 4-3. Concordia 3-5. Jamestown 81-50 winners over Mount Marty. Jamestown 6-1. Mount Marty 1-7. Briarcliff a 91-59 winner over Midland. Briarcliff 5-2. Midland 0-7. And it was Morningside defeating Northwestern 66-64. Morningside 3-4. Northwestern slides to 5-2. This is a 22-game conference schedule, remember. Dordt is now 7-0. Jamestown 6-1. Northwestern and Briarcliff both 5-2. Dakota Wesleyan and Hastings are 4-3. Doane is 3-4 along with Morningside. Concordia is 3-5. College of St. Mary slides to 1-6. They didn't play today. Mount Marty is now 1-7. That's Dort's next opponent. Midland is 0-7 in GPAC basketball. Coming up next for the Dordt defenders, they're on the road at Mount Marty on Thursday. Other GPAC basketball that day includes Morningside at Jamestown, Doane at Concordia, Briarcliff is at Hastings, and Dakota Wesleyan is at Northwestern. So what we're going to do here back at the in the Dordt Media Network truck, we're going to call it good. If Bill Harmson comes up, it'll just simply be part of the men's pregame. So let's take a 2-minute timeout, and we'll be back with the men's pregame show right after this. You're listening to KIHK and watching the Dordt Media Network. Back with more in 2 minutes.